Okay, let's do this again. So I changed this, so I'm going to start doing some philosophy once a week, maybe a couple times a week. We'll just kind of see where I'm at. If I want to get ahead, I can get ahead, but this is the minimum. This is my like dream schedule right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do some philosophy. I'm going to go to the index document that I have. Okay. Oh, I forgot I wrote these. Okay, cool. Okay, so 01 in the index is this Wikipedia page, uh, important publications in philosophy. If you just type that in and go to Wikipedia, it's going to have this list of, it's around 400 or 500 different publications in the last, I don't know, 3,000 years, 600, the last like 4,000 years. So um, my plan is just to start at the beginning. And over here, we have ancient philosophy. Oops. So ancient philosophy here. So I'm going to start with Heraclitus, his fragments, which I got, all right, Mia. How many fragments do they got in there? 139. Looks like a couple of them were not translated. Oh, man. Okay, that's not going to work. I was hoping that one would be finished. Let's go to Wikisource. It doesn't have to be right. I just need to... Okay, we'll do that. That'll work. We'll use Wikisource, Fragments of Heraclitus. I just want to get a brief summary of what they are. And then as I learn Greek and stuff, I should be able to translate and see how they compare. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and read based on online sources. And then eventually I'll see if I can find like physical copies that I can either purchase or I'll translate them myself or transcribe them myself. I'll get myself like a Greek keyboard maybe. We'll see. I have to learn how to do that though. But yeah, so Fragments of Heraclitus. Fragment 1. Though this word is true evermore, yet men are as unable to understand it when they hear it for the first time as before they have heard it at all. For though all things come to pass in accordance with this word, men seem as if they had no experience of them when they make trial of words and deeds such as I set forth, dividing each thing according to its kind and showing how it truly is. But other men know not what they are doing when awake, even as they forget what they do in sleep. Fragment 2. So we must follow the common, yet though my word is common, the many live as if they had wisdom of their own. Fragment 3. The sun is the width of a human foot. Fragment 4. Oxen are happy when they find bitter vetches to eat. Fragment 5. They vainly purify themselves by defiling themselves with blood, just as if one who had stepped into the mud were to wash his feet in mud. Any man who marked him doing thus would deem him mad. And they pray to these images as if one were to talk with a man's house, knowing not what gods or heroes are. Fragment 6. The sun is new every day. Fragment 7. If all things were turned to smoke, the nostrils would distinguish them. Fragment 8. It is the opposite which is good for us. Fragment 9. Asses would rather have straw than gold. Fragment 10. Couples are things whole and things not whole. That is, what is drawn together and what is drawn asunder, the harmonious and the discordant. The one is made up of all things, and all things issue from the one. Fragment 11. Every beast is driven to pasture with blows. 12. You cannot step twice into the same rivers, for fresh waters are ever flowing upon you. 13. To delight in the mire. 14. Night walkers, Magians, Bakchoi, Lenai, and the initiated, the mysteries practiced among men are unholy mysteries. 15. For it were not to Dionysus that they made a procession and sang the shameful phallic hymn, They would be acting most shamelessly. But Hades is the same as Dionysus, in whose honor they go mad and rave. 16. How can one hide from that which never sets? 17. The many do not take heed of such things as those they meet with, nor do they mark them when they are taught, though they think they do. 18. If you do not expect the unexpected, you will not find it, for it is hard to be sought out and difficult. 19. Knowing not how to listen nor how to speak. 20. When they are born, they wish to live and to meet with their dooms, or rather to rest, and they leave children behind them to meet with their dooms in turn. 21. All the things we see when awake are death, even as all we see in slumber or sleep. 22. Those who seek for gold dig up much earth and find little. 23. Many would not have known the name of justice if these things were not. 24. Gods and men honor those who are slain in battle. 25. Greater deaths with greater portions. 26. Man kindles a light for himself in the nighttime when he has died, but is alive. The sleeper, whose vision has been put out, lights up from the dead. He that is awake lights up from the sleeping. 27. There awaits men when they die such things as they do not look, they look not for nor dream of. 28. The most esteemed of them knows but fancies and holds fast to them, yet of a truth justice shall overtake the artificers of lies and false witnesses. 29. For even the best of them choose one thing above all others, immortal glory among mortals, while most of them are glutted like beasts. 30. This world, which is the same for all, no one of gods or men has made, but it was ever, is now, and ever shall be an ever living fire, with measures of it kindling and measures going out. 31. The transformations of fire are, first of all, sea, and half of the sea is earth, half whirlwind. It becomes liquid sea, and is measured by the same tale as before it became earth. 32. The wise is one only. It is unwilling and willing to be called by the name of Zeus. 33. And it is law too to obey the counsel of one. 34. Fools when they do hear are like the deaf. Of them does the saying bear witness that they are absent when present. 35. Men that love wisdom must be acquainted with very many things indeed. 36. For it is death to souls to become water, and death to water to become earth. But water comes from earth, and from water soul. 37. Swine wash in the mire, and barnyard fowls in dust. 38. Thales foretold an eclipse. 39. In Priene lived Bias, son of Tutamus, who is of more account than the rest. He said most men are bad. 40. The learning of many things teacheth not understanding, else would it have taught Hesiod and Pythagoras, and again Xenophanes and Hecataeus. 41. Wisdom is one thing. It is to know the thought by which all things are steered through all things. 42. Homer should be turned out of the lists and whipped, and Archilochos likewise. 43. Wantonness needs putting out, even more than a house on fire. 44. The people must fight for its law as for its walls. 45. You will not find the boundaries of soul by traveling in any direction. So deep is the measure of it. 46. Self-conceit is a falling sickness, and eyesight is a lying sense. 47. Let us not conjecture at random about the greatest things. 48. The bow is called life, but its work is death. 49. One is 10,000 to me, if he be the best. 49a. We step and do not step into the same rivers. We are and are not. Fragment 50. It is wise to hearken not to me, but to my word, and to confess all things are one. 51. Men do not know how what is at variance agrees with itself. It is an attunement of opposite tensions, like that of the bow and the lyre. 52. Time is a child playing droughts. The kingly power is a child's. 53. War is the father of all and the king of all, and some he has made gods, and some men, some bond, and some free. 54. The hidden attunement is better than the open. 55. The things that can be seen, heard, and learned are what I prize the most. 56. Men allow themselves to be deceived as Homer was, yet who yet was wiser than all the Greeks. For some boys killing lice deceived him, saying, "What we see and catch we leave behind. What we neither see nor catch we take with us." 57. Hesiod is most men's teacher. Men are sure he knew very many things. A man who did not know day or night. They are one. 58. Physicians who cut, burn, stab, and rack the sick demand a fee for it, which they do not deserve to get. Interesting. 59. The straight and the crooked path of the fuller's comb is one and the same. 60. The way up and the way down is one and the same. 61. The sea is the purest and the impurest water. Fish can drink it, and it is good for them. To men it is undrinkable and destructive. 62. Mortals are immortals, and immortals are mortals. The one living, the other's death, and dying, the other's life. 63. That they rise up and become the wakeful guardians of the quick and dead. 64. It is the thunderbolt that steers the course of all things. 65. Fire is want and surfeit. 66. Fire in its advance will judge and convict all things. 67. God is day and night, winter and summer, war and peace, surfeit and hunger, but he takes various shapes just as fire, when it is mingled with spices, is named according to the savor of each. 67a. That's in a different language. 68. Therefore, Heraclitus rightly called them atonements, since they are to make amends for evils and render the souls free from the dangers and generation. 69. I distinguish two kinds of sacrifices. First, those of men wholly purified, such as would rarely happen in the case of a single individual, as Heraclitus says, or of a certain very few men. 70. A little better then, Heraclitus has considered human opinions to be children's toys. 71. Think, too, of him who forgets where the way leads. 72. They are estranged from that which they have most constant intercourse. 73. It is not meet to act and speak like men asleep. 74. We ought not to behave like children who learn from their parents. 75. Those who are asleep are fellow workers in what goes on in the world. 76. Fire lives the death of air, and air lives the death of fire. Water lives the death of earth, earth that of water. 77. It is a pleasure to souls to become moist. 78. The way of man has no wisdom, but that of God has. 79. Man is called a baby by God, even as a child by a man. 80. We must know that war is common to all and strife is justice, and that all things come into being and pass away through strife. 81. And according to Heraclitus, rhetoric is the prince of liars. 82 and 83. The wisest man is an ape compared to God, just as the most beautiful ape is ugly compared to man. 84. It rests by changing. It is a wariness to labor for the same masters and be ruled by them. 85. It is hard to fight with one's heart's desire. Whatever it wishes to get, it purchases at the cost of soul. 86. The wise man is not known because of men's want of belief. 87. The fool is fluttered at every word. 88. And it is the same thing in us that is quick and dead, awake and asleep, young and old. The former are shifted and become the latter, and the latter in turn are shifted and become the former. 89. The waking have one common world, but the sleeping turn aside each into a world of his own. 90. All things are in exchange for fire, and fire for all things, even as wares for gold, and gold for wares. 91. It scatters and it gathers, it advances and retires. 92. And the Sibyl, with raving lips, uttering things mirthless, you bed does, unbed does, oh my gosh, unbedizened and unperfumed, reaches over 1,000 years with her voice, thanks to the God in her. 93. The Lord, whose is the oracle at Delphi, neither utters nor hides his meaning, but shows it by a sign. 94. The sun will not overstep his measures. If he does, the Arenius, the handmaids of justice, will find him out. 95. It is best to hide folly, but it is hard in times of relaxation over our cups. 96. Corpses are more fit to be cast out than dung. 97. Dogs bark at everyone they do not know. 98. Souls smell in Hades. 99. If there were no sun, it would be night, for all the other stars could do. 100. The seasons that bring all things. 101. I have sought for myself. 101a. The eyes are more exact witnesses than ears. 102. To God all things are fair and good and right, but men hold some things wrong and some right. 103. In the circumference of a circle, the beginning and end are common. 104. For what thought or wisdom have they? They follow the poets and take the crowd as their teacher, knowing not that there are many bad and few good. 105. Homer was an astronomer. 106. One day is like any other. 107. Eyes and ears are bad witnesses to men if they have souls that understands not their language. 108. Of all whose discourses I have heard, there is not one who attains to understanding that wisdom is apart from all. 109. It is better to conceal ignorance than to expose it. 110, 111. It is not good for men to get all they wish to get. It is sickness that makes health pleasant. Evil, good, hunger, plenty, weariness, rest. 112. Self-control is the highest virtue, and wisdom is to speak truth and consciously to act according to nature. 113. Thought is common to all. 114. Those who speak with understanding must hold fast to what is common to all, as a city holds fast to its law, and even more strongly. For all human laws are fed by the one divine law. It prevails as much as it will, and suffices for all things with something to spare. 115. To the soul belongs the self-multiplying logos. 116. It pertains to all men to know themselves and to learn self-control. 117. A man, when he gets drunk, is led by a beardless lad, tripping, knowing not where he steps, having his soul moist. 118. The dry soul is the wisest and best. 119. Man's character is his fate. 120. The limit of dawn and evening is the bear. The opposite, the bear, is the boundary of bright Zeus. 121. The Ephesians would do well to hang themselves, every grown man of them, and leave the city to beardless lads, for they have cast out Hermodoros, the best man among them, saying, We will have none who is best among us. If there be any such, let him be so elsewhere among others. 122. Debate. 123. Nature loves to hide. 124. The fairest cosmos is merely a rubbish heap poured out at random. 125. Even the posset separates if it is not stirred. 126. Cold things become warm, and what is warm cools. What is wet dries, and the parched is moistened. 27 is a different language. 28 is a different language. 29. Pythagoras, son of Nesarchos, practiced scientific inquiry beyond all other men, and making a selection of these writings, claimed for his own wisdom what was but a knowledge of many things and an imposture. All right, that's the end of Fragments by Heraclitus on the Wikisource website. Oh, translated by John Burnett. Okay.